It's a textbook that really has to be taken in little bite-sized pieces. You have to get a little piece of it, and then you have to sit with that, and you have to contemplate, and you have to go within, and you have to do the work. You have to pray around it. You have to meditate on it. You have to vision with it. You have to bring it into the spoken word in a way in which you understand it and prove it. Because if you don't understand it and you don't prove it, it's of no use to you. Absolutely no use whatsoever, except maybe then as a doorstop. But if you take it piece by piece and you begin to do the work, you begin to bring that into your consciousness, into your awareness, you will begin to reveal this thing, this truth called life. And you will begin to understand that your purpose here, in this experience right now, in the human form, on this planet Earth, in this body that you are traveling around in, because it's just the vessel that you're using this time. You are eternal and immortal. When this body is done, you will move and transform into another one and another realm, something even greater and more magnificent. And you get to choose how and where and what that looks like, because you have the power and the presence within you. But you must do the work in order to understand it, because it's only at the level at which you understand it, it's only at the level at which you believe it, does it manifest and demonstrate. The Master Teacher says, "It is done unto you as you believe." So I would ask you, what is it that you believe? This morning when I began to read the passage on faith, as I do each morning, I then journal a little bit so that I can sort of compose my thoughts and my concepts to see how it is that I may understand this and bring it forth. And so today I had to bring with you my journal and my writing after I read the passage. April 8th, Sunday, 2012, Easter and Passover. I'm covering all my bases. Effective prayer is in the realization of our oneness with the infinite mind and absolute power. Science of Mind is a philosophy that teaches the principle of life. This principle is that life is a creative process, forever revealing itself into form. Within everything is life, the essence of spirit. Here we have some very expanded thoughts that can easily be misunderstood. And so often we ask the question, what is life? What is spirituality? What is effective prayer? What is this Christ consciousness? Who was Jesus? Who am I? And why am I here? And then I put down here, where is my answer? Because every page after that is blank. All these questions, and I have no answer. And everybody's showing up to find out what I'm going to say. What's the answer to these questions? Oh, so breathe. Breathe deeply, and let's see if we can pull some of this out. See if we can make some sense with this. What we're looking at in this section of the Science of Mind textbook for this period of time is around prayer and around faith. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, gave us a formula for an effective prayer. So if you have pen and paper, you may want to take notes on this. Or you can get this on video later. So here's how it goes, because Ernest Holmes spent a lot of time trying to figure this out. Because there's been a lot of methods and a lot of formula around prayer. all of the traditions, all of the faiths, all of the culture that has been around in the world has been talking about some form of prayer. And each of them wants to put their prayer up first, up front, on the top. Our prayer is the one that works. If you do this, you will get your results. And Ernest Holmes is looking at this and he's thinking, I'm seeing a lot of this going on, but I'm not getting it that everybody that's praying is getting their results. Some are. Some are doing prayer and they're getting results sometimes. And then they're doing a prayer again, but they're not getting results. Some people are doing the same prayer, but they're not getting results. And there was this confusion that's going on. Well, what is effective prayer? How is it that it works sometimes for some people, some places, somewhere, and doesn't work for others? And of course, at the time that Ernest Holmes was contemplating all of this, we had moved into the scientific era. We had moved into the time in which Einstein was creating the theory of relativity. And quantum physics was just beginning to crack open. And most of Newton's theories were being dismissed or downsized or downgraded because they didn't answer everything. They had some good ideas, and some of it worked, but it wasn't the ultimate answer. And there was something new coming forth. And so Ernest Holmes began to look at what he wanted to call scientific prayer. He wanted to use the process that science was using that said, if we develop this step by step, moment by moment, and if we do this over and over again in the same way, using the same process, no matter who uses it, you will have results. You will demonstrate in your life. And Ernest Holmes was an individual, although he studied religions around the world, and he looked at everything he could possibly get his hands to read. He was very enamored with the teachings of Jesus. The New Testament. Because he had looked at the teachings of Moses in the Old Testament, and he recognized that that was the first step, and that was about bringing forth the law. There really had to be a law. When you study science, everything in science says there must be a law, there must be a principle, there must be a truth by which we build upon. And then in the New Testament, we bring in the love. And you can really not have one or the other. You have to have them both. They don't work separately. There must be law and there must be love, and they must come together in an integration that allows for us to evolve our consciousness so that we can become those individuals and doing those events and those things that we sometimes call miracles, and that we're doing them all the time. Each and every one of us. Because what these great teachers were saying, and Moses was saying this, Muhammad was saying this, Jesus was saying this. They were all bringing forth the idea, the Buddha was saying this, that there is a mind, there is a consciousness that is available to each and every one of us, and we need to be using it. And if we're not using the universal mind through the process of our individual mind, then we are not going to get there. We are not going to understand when somebody speaks about what is the Christ consciousness. This is not the name of someone. Jesus was named Jesus of Nazareth. Moses was named, Moses of Egypt, or something like that. Buddha was named something else before he was named the Buddha. Muhammad was in Syria, named something else. These individuals were using their individual mind, And each of them came up with the